All right, I think we're back. Let me know if you guys are still here. I think we might have just lost you for a brief second. So give me 1 second while I check to see what's going on with our stream. Let me know, guys, back in chat if you're with me or not. Scotty, welcome back. We just had a little glitch out on our chat, unfortunately. So we'll try to get this all resolved and figure out where we're at here. But we should be back live with you guys. If you're here, thank you for bearing with us. Sometimes we have these little disconnections that kind of like screw us up a little bit. But all right, so you have Joe Tryon here on the 27th pick for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, sorry guys. Yeah, Mayday, back in the game. We're here. Sorry for that little glitch. Now, here's where I think it's finally time, Scotty, for a team to pull the trigger on Mac Jones. And I think that's where this he ends up staying. He barely makes it to the edge of the first round, and he ends up going to the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to take Mac Jones here. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, I hinted at that. Like, Mac Jones at 28 is a good value with the team that's obviously heading in with some QB questions now that Drew Brees has officially retired. So if they can get him at 28, I've heard they're targeting a corner and rumored to be Caleb Farley, which they think they need to move up for. But everything I've heard is Caleb Farley is going to drop. So I think that's the smokescreen. I don't think they think Mac Jones, and I'd be surprised if Mac Jones is there at 28. But if he is, really solid pick for them. So Mayday, they won by 40, Scotty, better. Yeah, if you say WON, that's less confusing than saying the number one. So thank you. But yeah, no, that's a nice win. Nice win for your Sixers tonight. So moving on to the Green Bay Packers. I'm trying to think of what they could add that would not be someone that would help Aaron Rodgers in the least. That's kind of what they like to do in the draft, based off last year, taking Jordan Love in the first round, Dylan from Boston College as a running back in either the second or third. Like, every pick they made last year made no sense, and they still made the NFC Championship game. So to me, I'm going to pull the trigger. I think this one's hard. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to go wide receiver. I'm going to take Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, Minnesota. I think adding a piece to make Aaron happy, a guy that plays, he's only like 6 foot, but he plays a lot bigger than that, can play outside, can play in the slot. He's kind of well-rounded, and just makes plays on the field. Like, really, really good wideout. Pairing him up with that team and that wide receiving core gives them a lot. Detroit, give Rodgers that kid from Purdue. I think Rodgers wants a guy a little bigger than that. You're talking more from Purdue. He's not big enough for me. I think Aaron likes to throw a little more 50-50 balls. He's not like looking for like a quick slot guy that he can get the ball out to. He'll just make sure the corner's not looking or the linebacker's not looking and throw it up to a guy. So to me, Rashad Bateman makes more sense.
Okay. Rashad Bateman off the board, wide receiver, Minnesota. All right, so now we have the Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Mafia right here. And I think they end up going defense. I think they were kind of going off of probably someone who can get some pressure on the quarterback. And I think this is finally where Greg Rousseau comes off the board out of Florida. I think he's a great pick here for them, solidifies their defense, and I think is a big pickup here who, just gives them a nice little pass rush off the edge.
In the chat, Detroit, I've seen Bateman, but I also heard that guy from Ole Miss is moving up. Yeah, we'll see what happens at wide receiver. Everything's unpredictable there. I think after those first three, it's kind of team's preference, what you're looking for. Like Terrace Marshall is a guy. I'm a big fan of De'Ami Brown, who everyone else is probably less. I labeled him as my number 5 wide receiver in the draft, and I don't think anyone else has him anywhere near that. I compare him to an Adam Thielen. I like Rashad Bateman a lot. Terrace Marshall from LSU is a guy. Kadarius Toney, obviously from Florida, is a shifty guy, a little undersized, but really athletic. You talked about Rondale Moore. Elijah Moore, who we already took. Elijah Moore, actually, we already took in this one, Detroit. So I've heard in most instances, actually, recently, Elijah Moore is the number 4 wide receiver to go off the board. So I think we did this in this draft, but yeah, there's a lot of opinions out there on wide receivers after you get through those top 3. The order of the top 3 is different, but everyone agrees on the top 3, and then everything's different. So we'll see. 31. The Ravens didn't take a wide receiver at 27, so there's certainly potential here for them to take a wide receiver. There's no one I love here for the Ravens at 31, so I'm actually going to shore up the interior of their defensive line. I'm going to take D tackle Christian Barmore out of Alabama. I think that's a pick here.
Okay. All righty, there we go. And then we have our final pick for the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I just threw up my mouth a little bit.
Sorry to bring that back to you. Yeah, so Mayday, known as the guy that is known for as Mr. Ole Piss Inside Joke.
I think it's Ole, like old piss inside joke.
Oh, got it. Would be insane pick if he falls to them. Yeah, for sure. Now, I think right here, this is where the defense ends up being a priority here. I think this is a big spot for a defensive tackle. They already have a couple edge rushers already kind of in place in Tampa Bay, but to kind of slow down the run and kind of, get some pressure up the middle, I think, that could be a big thing here. And I think this is where I think they go Levi Onwuzurike here, defensive tackle from Washington, to wrap up the first round of the NFL draft.
Okay. I mean, obviously they have Sue coming back. But that's like on a 1-year deal. So you got to fill that roster spot at some point. And Levi is a guy who I think he opted out this past year, but showed some promise. I'd be surprised if he isn't a first. Like I've heard, I have him ranked on my board. If I take a quick look, where do I have Levi at? I'm probably too low on him. I have him at 38. But what I've heard, he's ranked a little higher with the minds of the NFL. The one guy at running back that wasn't picked in this round, I really think ETN probably goes first round. We probably missed an opportunity there at some point. For a team to pull the trigger on him, because I'd be surprised if he makes it out of the first. And Javonte Williams from North Carolina will probably be like an early second round guy, early to mid second round guy at running back. We left a lot of good offensive tackles. Like I think we only took 3 offensive tackles.
Yep.
Which rewards like a team like what I took with the Bengals at 5, taking Jamar Chase, because they have a lot of good options at offensive tackle moving forward. When you look at, we had 4 because we had Tevin Jenkins. So we had 4 go off the board in the first round. But guys like Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame, Samuel Cosme, whose technique I've heard is terrible, but his potential is amazing, from Texas. Jalen Mayfield, that I think Detroit Trent talked about as a offensive tackle, and then Dylan Raduns from North Dakota State, who really impressed at the Senior Bowl as a guy that easily actually could go first round as well. So there's a lot of offensive tackles out there that we left off the board. We really didn't pull the trigger on safeties outside of whether you think Joker, JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was a safety. Otherwise, the guy at TCU, Trevin Moehrig, or Richie Grant from Central Florida are the two guys that maybe, especially Trevon Moehrig, I've seen project in the first a lot. I'm just trying to think of other guys that like easily could go first that we didn't put in the first round. I don't know. I think we did a pretty good job. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We got a big board full of 60 guys, so hopefully between those 60 guys, we were covered for at least the first round with the top 32 picks. So
we're gonna be ready to roll, man. We're gonna be this is gonna be the most excited I've been for a draft in a long, long time, if not ever. This is probably the most excited I have probably been for a draft because we're in it. Like, we're doing the mock drafts. We have done all of our rankings for the receivers, running backs, defensive players, offensive players. We've done it all. And it's all culminating in a big, big live stream tomorrow. Trent, thank you for following and making sure you're part of the crew. So I hope to see you guys both here back Mayday. Got to hit you with the little soundbite there because, hey, we're just that much more excited when you get that hear that ringtone go off in your ears. And we have a new highlight. We have a new person getting drafted.
There's a pick in. There's a pick in.
And you know what? We haven't even talked about trades. Just wait till the trades start flowing because there's going to be some trades. I think there's going to be some shifting in that first top 10 with maybe a team trying to creep in. And it's going to be chaos after that. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about. But just recapping here, again, you had Trey Lance going number 3 to San Francisco. San Francisco, once that pick is once the first two come off the board, it's going to be that third pick. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat to see who they take. If they take, anybody besides Trey Lance, like, it's going to be, like I feel like a normal draft. But if they take Trey Lance, that shifts everything. I feel like the Broncos have to change maybe course what they were thinking about doing because the Broncos were thinking about going that route. They like Trey Lance. I've seen his name a lot more than some of the other quarterbacks here. And it's going to be fantastic to just see how it all unfolds. And we can't wait to do it with all you guys.
Detroit Trent, can't wait for tomorrow. I think you joined us after we made that Lions pick, which I believe in our draft ended up being Jalen Waddle, which I think you'd be pretty happy with. But if you could pick anybody in that's realistic, are you looking like quarterback? Like if Justin Fields is there, would you like to pull the trigger on him, or you're happy with like a wide receiver, or maybe an offensive lineman, like a Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater? Like who would you like to see Detroit take at number 7? That's a realistic pick. Obviously, like Lawrence and Wilson aren't going to be guys that are there. Probably, I'd be shocked if Jamar Chase is there. But otherwise, everyone and probably Kyle Pitts. So those 4 are probably off the board for Detroit. But otherwise, there's guys that might be there for him. So I think when you look at trades in the first round, I think it starts with Detroit at 7. I think the first 6 are going to hold and pick, and then potentially, depending on who's on the board, Detroit could start the movement as far as trading. They could trade back and acquire picks. I think Carolina could move back at 8. I think Denver would like to move back at 9. So those 3 teams, I think, all would like to move back, and depending on where the quarterback situation is, because you're not trading up unless it's a quarterback from like 15 for one of these guys, some other position. So
Trent, they have the worst roster in the league with only 6 picks, so I want them to trade back. I mean,
I think that's realistic. I think they will. Like, now you have to find a partner, right? I think they'd like to trade back, but you got to find a partner, and it has to make sense value-wise. Yep. But ultimately, I think they'd like to.
Absolutely. Man, this has been... I think I saw this earlier in the stream, but I think it was Mayday that said Man, the chat is buzzing today, fellas, and it was. This is the most active we've had our chat, and it's absolutely incredible to have all you guys, throw in all your thoughts in the chat, all your different, insights, everything you have going. I want to give a big shout out to Detroit Trent, obviously Mayday, Deb earlier on in the chat, CP early on in the chat as well, Pnix popping in. All of you guys, we can't do this show without you, and all of your participation just is fantastic. We're growing this channel, I feel, week by week. And I think that, the bigger and bigger this grows, the more and more excited we are to do this show each and every week for you guys, which is why we're doing such a big one tomorrow. We're going to be doing live stream throughout the whole evening. We're going extra hours. We usually do like a 2-hour stream every Sunday and Wednesday, but then we're going tomorrow. This is a one-off stream for the NFL draft, and we're going to go big. We're going to do all throughout the first round, however late it goes. It doesn't matter if we have work the next day. We're putting in that work, so we're going to have some fun with it. Trent in the chat, do like sneaky trade back with the Cardinals. Cards take Waddle and Parsons falls to Lions is my dream. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
We had Parsons falling, I think, to the Raiders, so at 17. So he could drop, and I said that was a really good scenario for the Raiders at 17. So if you trade with the Cardinals at 16, that makes a lot of sense. And the Cardinals do need another weapon on the outside or an offensive tackle. So gonna be a lot of fun. Pnix in the chat, have fun tomorrow while I'm at Red Rocks. Yeah, you're missing out. On draft day, you're going to Red Rocks. Listen, no disrespect to Red Rocks, but
I was about to say
it's draft day.
He's going to have his phone on in his pocket waiting for that number 9 pick.
Yeah. So he could be disappointed by who the Broncos are taking. Because if it's not a quarterback named Justin Fields, I think he's going to be disappointed.
Well, either way, guys, thank you for watching on Twitch, YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you so much for being a part of the stream. We love each and every one of you. We can't wait to get rolling on the draft tomorrow. We're going to have so much in store for you guys, so many surprises, so many things going on. And we just want to have some conversations with you guys. We're going to be live for a long period tomorrow. So I hope you guys stop by. Hope you guys go through and be part of the chat. And if you're here, hit that follow button so you know exactly when we start tomorrow. It's going to be somewhere between, 5 and 5:30 Mountain Time. So, or 7 to 7:30 Eastern. So just a heads up there. But as far as that goes, I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I can't wait to see you guys back here tomorrow night. And you guys have a fantastic evening ahead of you. All right. Have a good night. Detroit, Mayday, all you guys. Love you guys. Pnix, everybody. See you guys.